Hello, this is Breakfast with Louise Minchin and Bill Turnbull.
Another night of rioting in England as police clash with youths in several cities.
Gangs went on the rampage in Manchester and Birmingham, smashing shop windows and looting goods.
Hello, good morning to you. It's Wednesday, the 10th of August.
Also ahead, London is calm overnight, but a man's been arrested in connection with the fire which destroyed a furniture store in Croydon yesterday.
After the violence, hundreds of Londoners turn out with brooms to help with the clean-up.
And in business, the cost of the clean-up has been put at tens of millions of pounds. Many people will be looking to their insurance policies. Are you covered for the damage from the cost of the riots? I'll be finding out.
And Carol has the weather, of course.
Good morning. We've got some heavy rain around today across the central and northern swathe of the British Isles, accompanied by gusty winds. It's the very far north of Scotland and the south of England and Wales that will remain dry. I'll have more details in about 15 minutes.
Carol, thanks very much.
Morning, our main story for you. There's been more rioting and looting in several cities in England.
In Manchester, the police said they'd been faced with extraordinary levels of violence from gangs intent on committing widespread disorder. There was also looting in Salford.
Trouble flared up across the Midlands with police making 80 arrests. Cars and buildings were attacked in Wolverhampton, West Bromwich and Nottingham. Shops were again targeted in Birmingham.
Well, elsewhere in England, missiles were thrown and cars were set on fire in Liverpool. 4 fire engines were attacked while attending incidents in the south of the city.
But London appears to have remained calm with a heavy police presence on the streets.
In a moment, we'll hear from our correspondent Jeremy Cook in Birmingham. First, here's Laura Yates in Manchester. Morning, Laura.
Yes, good morning. For many people in Manchester, Kendall's is the flagship department store here, and even this came under attack last night on a night of violence that police have described as unprecedented. Shops were targeted, looted, some were even set fire to as hundreds of rioters tore through the city centre. Police officers, emergency service workers were attacked as they tried to do their jobs. 47 people were arrested in total. Police say more will follow today. Ed Thomas now reports on last night's events.
For hours, rioters ran around Manchester city centre, smashing windows and looting shops. On Market Street, Miss Selfridge was set on fire, while hundreds taunted police before running away. It left many who live here in disbelief.
Well, it's a bit heartbreaking, really. It's a bit wrong.
It's your city.
Yeah, it's our city, and after the bomb and all that by the IRA, we've been pumped in loads of money, made the place look nice again, and they just want to make it all bad again, and it's wrong.
While in Salford, looters attacked a shopping precinct. A car was also set on fire. And as this shop was targeted, our cameraman was attacked. In Manchester, hundreds gathered in Piccadilly Gardens in the centre of the city, while police called it senseless violence.
They have nothing to protest against. There is nothing in a sense of injustice, and there has been no spark which has led to this. This has been senseless violence and senseless criminality on a scale that I have never witnessed before in my career.
And this is where it all started in Manchester city centre. Around 100 people made their way up the high street. They were trying to get into the centre of Manchester. Police are now trying to contain the situation, and no one is allowed in or out. But the standoff and the clashes lasted well into the night, while police desperately tried to reclaim the streets. Ed Thomas, BBC News, Manchester.
Meanwhile, many staff arriving at work today have been faced with scenes like this. Just take a look at the damage inside this patisserie as staff here try to clear up and get back to normal. That is a message from Manchester City Council. There has already been a lot of clearing up done overnight. Lots of shops boarded up, lots of glass removed from the streets. They say it is business as usual here in Manchester as the city tries to come to terms with what happened here last night.
Laura, thanks very much. Laura Yates in the middle of Manchester there.
Well, in Birmingham, Wolverhampton and West Bromwich, hundreds of people gathered on the streets. Shops were looted and 80 arrests were made.
Police in Birmingham have arrested a man on suspicion of murder after 3 men were killed when they were hit by a car. It's not known if the incident is linked to the rioting.
Jeremy Cook is there for us this morning. Morning, Jeremy.
Good morning. Yes, it was a relatively quiet night across the West Midlands last night. I say relatively because there were some 80 arrests. There was looting in Birmingham city centre, in Wolverhampton and in West Bromwich, but nothing like on the scale that we saw the night before. But all of that really eclipsed by this tragedy which has affected the Asian community here. 3 young men who were killed, we believe, while they were out on the streets trying to protect their community against the sort of violent disorder that we've seen over the past couple of nights. After the chaos, the tragedy. Local people told us a car hit a group of young Asian men at 1:15 in the morning. It was, they say, a hit and run. They also say that those killed had been on the streets to protect their community against the violent disorder which continued in this city into the night. As news of the incident spread among the community, many gathered at the hospital where the casualties had been taken. Then came the news they'd been dreading. There was grief and there was anger.
A car came flying, straight through, a bunch of lads were standing there, come flying, took out 3 of the guys, were flying into midair, landed and they just ran, gone off. That's it. That's all that happened. It didn't stop. Intentionally went into us, onto the curb, and they were gone within 10 to 6, 7 seconds. It was all over, and 3 of our boys basically we don't know if they're going to survive now in the hospital.
West Midlands police have confirmed that they are investigating what happened here and that they are treating it as a murder inquiry. Well, the crowd outside the hospital is dispersing now, but before they broke up to go home, the community here was told that a murder investigation has been launched and that 1 person is under arrest. The police are carrying out a forensic investigation on the car which they believe was involved in this. We've seen some incredibly emotional scenes within the last few minutes, though, as members of the family of the 3rd victim of this incident have been told that he has passed away, confirming that 3 people have been killed in this incident.
Jeremy, thank you very much. Jeremy Cook there reporting from